Today, I will discuss the writings of Jean Bodin and Harriet Kramer and their influence on witchcraft beliefs during the early modern period. Their ideas helped shape how people viewed witches and contributed to the rise of witch trials across Europe. The crimes Bodin attributed to witches were they made pacts with the devil, they used harmful magic, they sacrificed children to the devil, they caused illness and death, and they also destroyed livestock, crops. And to him, witches were simply people practicing magic, but also were enemies of God who threatened the safety and morality of society. So he felt it was essential for the state to aggressively pursue witchcraft allegations because witches threatened social stability. And in result, he felt punishing witches would protect innocent people and protect society. For Bolden, witchcraft was not just a religious issue, but it was also a political issue. From his religious views, he believed in the real existence of the devil and the witchcraft, and he viewed witches as enemies of Christianity and God's order. Now, his political views, his support for harsh witchcraft prosecutions reflect his belief that governments should act certainly against perceived threats. And he felt that a strong government had to eliminate witches in order to maintain order, protect society, and maintain God's favor. Now, based on Kramer, the questioning process was intended to prove guilt rather than discover the truth. So I think it was unlikely. And from my perspective, the people were being questioned under a lot of pressure, and they were often treated as if they were already guilty before questioning even began. And in many witchcraft trials, suspects face threats, fear, and even sometimes torture, which would make them confess just to stop punishment. And so I think that when somebody is scared or they feel like, they have no way out, they may say whatever, the authorities want to hear, even if it's not the truth, because of course they want to stop being tortured. And instead of focusing on finding the evidence, of course, investigators seem more interested in getting a confession than, you know, evidence that supports the actual beliefs. And so I just feel like many of the confessions were probably unreliable or not true. I believe the most important factor was that religious and political leaders supported the belief that witchcraft was real and a dangerous threat because people believed that the devil was working through the witches to harm the society. And at the same time, the communities were facing diseases, crop failures, and other hardships, and people wanted the explanations for these problems. So, of course, they blamed the witches. And the religious leaders and government officials supported these beliefs, which made witchcraft accusations seems believable. And instead of it being, brushed off as superstition, it became widespread. And that's when it became a common and accepted part of society.